Alright, how's it going, guys? Alninio here. Today we're going to be talking about Katarina guide. I'm going to try to make this as quick as possible because this is essentially the shorter version of my full Katarina guide on MobileFire. If you guys want to check that out, it's going to be in the description for the full guide. But this is a TLDR explaining the runes, masteries, and item build paths, why I build certain items in a certain scenario. But before we get to that, I'm going to quickly go to the frequently asked questions for patch 7.2. Number 1, is early longsword start still a good purchase? Yes, it is still very strong. You still have 80 scalings on your passive. Keep in mind, after you hit level 6, your AP starts to outscale AD, so it's good to have AD early. Longsword start is really good. Does that mean Dark Seal is bad? No, Dark Seal is actually really good. Dark Seal is more safer because it has 25% healing from potions, so if you want the heal, you know, go for it. You want that extra healing, get a refillable potion with Dark Seal, still great. So yeah, longsword start and a refillable potion, or longsword start and 3 health pots, still really good. You can still get first blood early game, so level 2 first blood still strong, so you don't have to worry about the nerfs here. How bad is the Shumpa and Gunblade nerf? Well, how bad are the nerfs? And Shumpa and Gunblade have been nerfed. Shumpa has been nerfed in terms of AD scaling percentage, dropped from a certain percentage, I believe 10% less now, so it's like 50 something percent. I forgot the exact percentage number, but anyways, it has been nerfed, so you still deal a lot of damage, to be honest. Your Shumpa, of course, is noticeably a lot less stronger, but your basic attacks are still good. Your Q, your W, spin damage remains the way it is. The spin damage has not been changed, so still good. Okay, and Dark Seal, of course, is still good as well, like we said earlier. So now that we got to the frequently asked questions 7.2, we can move forward from here. Explaining the runes. First rune page is Sinister Blade versus AP. This is your standard rune page against AP champions, right? So you got 2 AP quints, 1 Magic Pen quint, and then you put everything here: Magic Pen glyphs, AD marks, and health per level seals. Now, of course, the reason you go AD marks is because you need AD early game, because your early game with AD is so good. Like, trust me on this one, guys. Longsword start as well, you get that extra AD. Your passive damage is really good. Your basic attacking is really good. The reason we go Magic Pen Quint here as well is because we need 7.7 magic penetration, and if you, for example, put Magic Pen reds, you'd get 7.8 magic penetration, and with this you get 7.7 magic penetration. So you're literally only losing out on 0.1 magic pen, which is completely fine. That doesn't make that much of a difference. So you don't want to lose out on magic penetration, you want to have that in your glyphs. So that's it versus AP. Against AD champions, you go for armor seals, exactly the same runes, just go armor seals. It's not fun getting shredded by Yasuo. Alright, it's not fun getting shredded by a Zed early game. You want to be able to play aggressive against them early and have good defensive stats against them. Health per level seals only is good as the game goes longer and longer. Like, health per level seals is really good like at level 9, and you can start to see its effects really hit in. So go for flat stats. Flat stats mean more early, and it's good against AD champions because AD champions have good earlies as well with their attack damage. They can last hit better, they can poke you better, etc, etc. So that's it for, well, about the poking part, that's not true precisely, but like Zed, he can poke you with Q, and he's got, AD, and technically AD is really good early, just generally speaking. So that's really it for the runes. You just go for 2 rune pages. Alternative rune page for those who do not have AD marks or don't have that many rune pages and they can't buy rune pages and shit, like whatever it is. Here's another rune page: standard, flat magic resistance, flat magic penetration, flat AP quints, health per level seals. As you can see, this is not the ideal way to play Cat, but it's a way for new players. If you guys don't have new rune pages or whatever, and you can't afford new runes, this is a good ideal rune page for all mid champions. Although I wouldn't go for this on Cat. Just because going AD marks makes the biggest difference in the world early, and you do a lot of damage. So would not recommend this. This is good for, like, other champions, not Katarina. Right, so for the masteries, we do go for 5 points in here. We go Fresh Blood, Natural Talent, and Double-Edged Sword. Of course, we don't go for Bounty Hunter because we want the early damage as much as possible. You want to deal 5% additional damage max, because this actually scales up based on every unique kill. So there are 5 enemy champions. If you kill all 5, that damage is increased. I find that not really worth it on Cat. Just go double-edged sword. You get a much stronger early game, and that's good to have. You want as much damage early. Katarina's beast early with her longsword starts, and she just, yeah, massive ass kicker. So yeah, I wouldn't also recommend battle trance. No thank you. Right, just go double-edged sword. Be a boss, kick ass. Right, we do go wander instead of savagery. Now of course this is debatable. You can go for whatever one you want. I go for wander because I like to be mobile, I like to roam top, I like to roam bot, and I like to get the mid lane quickly, right? I don't want to take too long to get there. So wander is my ideal way of roaming, right? And usually I go Gunblade into Luden's Echo when I'm snowballing, so that increases my movement speed even more. So great item. Go for savagery if you don't care about the mobility, right? Go for savagery for better last hitting. Neither is bad. Both ways are different based on playstyle. I like mobility because I don't have a problem last hitting with Cat. You have a longsword start, for God's sake. You shouldn't have trouble last hitting with a longsword. And AD marks, like I find this not the way to go for me, because I don't want to deal that extra damage to minions when I can hit them just fine, right? Next up I go assassin. You want to deal increased damage. This should be pretty self-explanatory. You're an assassin, you want to deal increased damage. You don't need cookies, you don't need this, you're not a jungler. Cookies you can go if you want, but I don't care too much about the sustain here. I just want to deal more damage because you're Katarina, right? So here, of course, you don't need mana regeneration. You're not a mana champion, so go deal 5% increased damage to champions below 40% health. Here, go for dangerous game. You don't need this. This is mainly for Kazakhs or junglers and bushes, Rengar. This is a support one, you don't need it. Go for precision, and then go for Thunderlord. Of course, Thunderlord's great. Every third attack, you can E, basic attack Q early at level 2, and you'll proc Thunderlord, which is really good. But just make sure to land that basic attack. Landing basic attacks is pretty damn important. So that's it for runes and masteries. Now we're gonna jump to items. Okay, so we are at my Katarina guide right here for the Mobifier. If you guys want to check that out for yourselves, like I said again, it's in the description below. The full guide is all here with everything that you need to know, but we're not going to get too deep into that. We're going to first go deep into items. Starting items, we start with Longsword, 3 health bots, and Totem. Like I said, the reason you start Longsword is because you need that early AD to last hit, not just last hit. Even with her passive damage and her Shampoo still has AD scaling, her Shampoo damage is still okay. It's been nerfed, but it doesn't mean it's bad. That early AD really starts coming in handy, and like I said, after you hit level 6, AP starts to outscale AD, so keep that in mind. So after you buy Longsword, here's what you do. If you don't have enough money, this is what you buy another Longsword, and then buy Hexshot Revolver. Don't rush Cutlass, and the reason I don't rush Cutlass is because Hexshot Revolver's basic attack thing is just phenomenal. Like, it's so good for outtrading, so that's why I don't buy Cutlass. Cutlass really doesn't make a difference in dueling as much as Hexshot Revolver, because empowering your basic attack makes a big difference. So you buy one Longsword, recall, buy another Longsword, and then start building Hexshot Revolver from here. Okay, don't go Cutlass instantly. Just don't. I found it like it's better if I go Revolver than Cutlass, because the Revolver is basic attacking damage plus your AD marks, right? Because they're also, you know, part of it, and your double Longsword just makes it overall better. So definitely go Gunblade as your universal item. Keep in mind, Hexshot Gunblade is a universal item, and when I say universal, it means you buy it in every game. Like, this is always going to be your item because it enhances Katarina's power and strength to such an extreme level that not buying this is a complete waste, right? You need Hexshot Gunblade. Your next item is completely optional. It does not have to be Luden's Echo. I just put Luden's Echo here because when I snowball, I always buy Luden's Echo. You can even buy a Rabadon if you don't care about the movement speed that Luden's Echo gives you. It's about personal preference here what you buy next after Gunblade. So here's what it is. Alright, I'll explain to you every item and when you should buy it. So you buy Hexshot Gunblade, you get your Soak Shoes, that's 2 items completed, okay? Now your next item will be either Luden's Echo if you're snowballing and you're ahead, your team's ahead, and you like mobility, like I do. I'm a big fan of mobility. I can't live without Luden's Echo, so I go Luden's Echo, right? Now, another option if you're not snowballing, go, if you're snowballing and you don't care about mobility and you don't care about Luden, go for Rabadon's Death Cap. This allows you to snowball at an extreme level. It doesn't give you mobility, but it gives you a lot of damage. This is your other snowball item option, Luden or Rabadon. Okay, now let's say you want to play it safe. Let's say you're not exactly snowballing, or maybe let's say you are snowballing and your team's still ahead, but you want to go for a safe item purchase that's good in every stage of the game. That would be Zhonya's Hourglass, and I actually buy this item a lot after Gunblade because overall it's just such a solid item on Cat. You get it. You know, it's cheap, first of all. It's cheap. It's not as expensive as Luden or Rab. Overall, Zhonya is great because it leaves you in a status, and that's really good for Katarina because she's always, you know, in your face. So having Zhonya also allows you to take initiatives and go in fights and take damage and then pop Zhonya, and then your team can follow up. Essentially like Kennen, you know, when Kennen uses her E and dashes, presses R, she stuns everyone, and then Zhonya's as her R is active. Like, Zhonya allows you to play aggressive, and, you know, it's like you're sort of an engaged tool. And when your team is behind and you're the only one ahead, usually I would always buy Zhonya because it allows me to take initiative, it allows me to engage. If I go like Hexshot Luden or Hexshot Rabadon, I go in, I get popped, right? Because my team's weak, I can't carry this game, right? So if you go Zhonya, you can actually like go in, make initiative, and then Zhonya, and then your team can follow, right? So Zhonya is really, really good. If you're the most important team member, buy Zhonya. If you want a safe safe purchase, even if you're behind or ahead, still a great item. Actually, one of the best items for real. Now, in a situation where after Gunblade, in a situation where you find that there's obnoxious amount of AP damage, like they have a Fiddlesticks and an Annie, you can buy Abyssal Scepter. Like here is a really good item because it gives you MR, it also gives you 10% more magic damage, so it's overall really good in a scenario where there's a shit ton of AP and you just find it obnoxious to deal with that Fiddlesticks that keeps ulting over a wall. Essentially, you always want to ward over walls when against the Fiddlesticks because his ulti is just ugh, right? Obnoxious ult. Don't want to deal with that. So you would your next one is, you know, Sork Shoes, Gunblade, and then Void Staff, which I would personally never do. This is so rare. Like, I'd never do that except if they have like, you know, insane lead on us and they all have like so much MR so early. Like, let's say 20 minutes in they have a Spirit Visage and some other MR item, and like let's say you can't do anything, you know, you could get a Voice Staff here, although I would so highly recommend against that because it feels like it feels like, okay, whatever, you know, you'd better off buying a Zhonya, to be honest. When you're behind, you're better off buying a Zhonya because the active is really nice. And then after Zhonya, you can buy Void Staff if you really need that magic penetration ASAP, but you need something, right? You like, Zhonya allows you to do so many things, so keep that in mind. Now, Sork Shoes, Gunblade, and then you can try to go for a Rylai if you feel like you need the HP. HP is great, HP is fantastic, but I don't go for Rylai after Gunblade anymore as much. This would really depend. I mean, honestly, like if I want a safe item, I just go Zhonya. Like, Rylai is a good safe item, and it's also very cheap. So if you're not really farming well, or you feel like you're not getting enough gold, buy Rylai. So, except Zhonya costs 300 gold more, so it doesn't hurt to just farm for that little bit extra 300 gold. I still feel like Zhonya would be a better option. Also, Rylai's been nerfed in terms of damage, and the recipe doesn't have Need to See Large Rod anymore, so keep that in mind. Overall, it doesn't mean it's a bad item. It's cheap, it's good. Go for it if you want. And yeah, overall, I don't think it's a terrible item. Go for it if you feel like you need it. You still get a decent amount of slow, and it's cheap. So, typically when I buy Rylai would be like Sork Shoes, Gunblade, Zhonya, and then I buy Rylai. You know, like I would buy Rylai after Zhonya or something. But yeah, that's like if I'm not making enough money, or if I'm like, I feel like I feel like I need HP to survive bullshit. Like, let's say they have like so many tanks and they're so annoying and I can't burst anyone. I get HP so that I don't die quickly. And I have Zhonya, which gives me extra protection. So you get like 2 strong defense items that are both aggressive and defensive at the same time. You know, solid. Now, GA purchase at the end, you can go for it if you want. I don't know if I go for this as much anymore, because I always see myself like buying a Zhonya in place of GA or buying a Rylai in place of GA, but actually GA is still really, really good. It revives you back to life and allows you to get more resets. So if you want to finish with GA, go for it. By no means is this a bad ending item. I still sometimes buy it, but yeah. That's just the last item. So really, that's how you build. build based on the situation. Build what you think you need in a certain scenario. I have an example full build here. So I go Gunblade, Luden, and then I noticed they started buying a lot of Amar, so I bought a Voice Staff here. I would not personally buy GA, to be honest. I want to scratch this out. I'd probably buy a Zanya here, and then Rylai, because the Zanya active is so good, right? GA is still great, but it's okay, you know. Getting a revive is really not that bad. I mean, it's still okay, so keep that in mind. It's not a bad ending game item. So yeah, that is pretty much it for the Katarina guide short version. If you guys want to see the full Katarina guide for yourselves, link is in the description below, so make sure to check that out. I'd like to thank you all so much for watching. I hope this was a short video. I tried to go through it as fast as I can to make it as short as possible. Love y'all, big heart, and good luck on the Rift. Peace out.